What up, my fellow Knicks fans? This is your guy Marcellus Ease, and don't panic quite yet. Now, this will be the third part of my series covering the Heat and Knicks. As with this current lackluster performance by the team, there was a lot to take away from. First of all, the Miami Heat are taking the Knicks away from the offensive boards, keeping them very close to the hip. As all season, the Heat were one of the top 5 defensive rebounding teams. And what kept our Knicks one of the top offensive scoring teams in the league is us getting second chance points. So the Heat in certain key metrics are keeping us close to the hip, and this is how they're able to steal some of these games away. But so far in this series, the Knicks have not yet fully established a way of attacking their zone, particularly the baselines and operating out of the high post. And when it comes to our defense, the Knicks at times have lackluster rotations. And towards the end of this matchup, the Knicks began to close the gap of not allowing Jimmy Butler any straight line drives to the hoop. The Knicks tend to respect the Heat shooters a little bit too much, as overall in the first 3 games of this series, the Miami Heat three-point shooters have not fared that much better than the Knicks. They've only made a few more three-point shots than we have, but they're shooting just as bad. But with Thibs versus Spoelstra, this will be a dogfight to the very end, as the Knicks do have the much more talented personnel, but let's keep in mind, they are going up against a basketball wizard in Spoelstra, as he has the Miami Heat almost operating in the same realm as the San Antonio Spurs when it comes to their off-ball movement. But I'm not going to say no more. Let's just get to it.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out.
Right.
Now, even though in Game 3 we shot like shit, and a lot of people even wondered in Game 2 how the hell this team without Jimmy Butler kind of kept this matchup close, even though they have a bunch of guys with no names. But this is a perfect example of why. These guys, their off-ball movement is excellent. As we're going to see Strus draw a pick against RJ, and we're going to see how Kevin Love actually sets him up because he's going to roll off that screen. Look at Strus. Nice screen on RJ. But look at Kevin Love. He's actually going to set Strus up to go around and get the jump shot from right here. Look at Strus. As soon as he sets that pick, look how quickly he rolls off. And look how Kevin Love is going to come right up here to set up the screen. So basically, Brunson, that was his original man. They completely set Brunson up right here. This is the real play. For him to roll out, for Kevin Love to set a screen, once again facing the sidelines, so guys are going east to west, for him to take that jump shot. Perfect, wide open. Kevin Love set that screen perfect. This is how this team keeps up with us. But once again, he misses the shot right here. They're not shooting any better than we are, but their guys don't really have the dribbling skills to penetrate or create for themselves. But this is how they take advantage of the spacing and just overall the off-ball movement. These guys are in constant motion. All right, so with good old Jimmy Boy back in this lineup, when you see Miami start setting screens where the player is actually facing the half-court line in this direction, Jimmy more than likely is going to go downhill. Or when you see the Heat players start setting screens facing the sidelines, the Heat players tend to go right to left. But with Jimmy Butler especially, they love to set these type of screens where RJ can't go under, and then makes Jimmy go straight downhill. The Knicks are going to have to try to find a way to get in the way of Jimmy just having that straight line to the basket, since RJ can't go downhill. Now, how they do that, they can take a page off the Miami Heat playbook with that 2-3 zone, the way they like to occupy this high post right here and right here. Randall, they can actually send him over to occupy that space to prevent Jimmy from going straight downhill. As we know, he is great, especially around the hoop at finishing. See, once again, we all know Thibs, he loves to have the center drop back. Mitch is going to drop back. Hopefully RJ can recover. But going back to that point where I said the Knicks can borrow something out of the Miami Heat 2-3 zone playbook, they can have Brunson now start to occupy this space, at least right here on the high post, but kind of face Jimmy Butler more. See, stop that penetration drive right here. See, he should be right here, creeping up more. He should crept up more. Stop Jimmy Butler from having that straight downhill kind of lane to drive in. And sometimes, you know, kind of bet on the Miami Heat shooters making these threes, even though they've been killing us from time to time. But even in this game, they didn't shoot any better than we did. They just made one more three-pointer than we did. And they pretty much killed us with free throws and just points in the paint. And they cut down on their turnovers. We see how Jimmy right there has that straight line drive. Had Brunson been occupying right here, Jimmy would have pulled back. He would have pulled back and kicked out. And Kevin Love in this matchup, he was passing up a lot of open three-point shots. Let's take a look at that one more time. Once again, someone's got to occupy right here. This was normally what the Heat would do. Jimmy Butler loves to go downhill. So this is a screen once again from the side. So we know Jimmy's going to go east to west. But then eventually he's going to look for a space to go downhill. If someone was occupying right here, he would actually pull back. See right now, Brunson, once again, should have been here. Should have been here, right behind Mitch. Occupy that space. Stop Jimmy from going downhill. This is going to be a reoccurring theme throughout this video. Now with the Heat, you got to pay attention to what kind of screens they're setting for good old Jimmy here. Now as we see Bam, he's going to have a first attempt. Fails, but look at the second screen he throws. Look at his body position. He's facing the half court. So you know Jimmy's going downhill. When Jimmy's going downhill, look at the strong side. There's going to be movement here to try to get open from three. But I wish the Knicks, especially when Jimmy starts going downhill, because we all know Mitch is going to drop back. That's part of the defense. They have somebody not give Jimmy Butler a straight line to attack the hoop. Kind of provide someone else. So Mitch is occupying this line down here. They could have somebody else right here. Randall could step up. But once again, watch the strong side as there's going to be movement. Struce. He's going to take that open three and knock it down. The Heat are constantly moving. Great off-ball movement along with ball movement. And with all these dribble handoffs, guys like Struce and Gabe Vincent, who don't necessarily have the ball handling skills to create their own shots, they don't have to dribble to be open. Look at how open he is. This is all off of off-ball movement. Look at this bullshit pick by Cody Zeller right here on for Jimmy Butler. Doesn't quite set it. And then the Knicks right now, it should be Randall's job to take away any type of straight downhill line that Jimmy Butler has. Same thing for right here. Look at Brunson. You should take away the lane. Take it away. Jimmy, good old Jimmy boy is gonna try to head down straight right here. Isaiah Hartenstein, believe it or not, he's the one that prevented Jimmy from having that straight line to the hoop. But look at Randall and Jalen Brunson. They still are at the same positions. Once again, this is why I say they give the Heat shooters too much respect. Kyle Lowry and Caleb Martin, they give them way too much respect. Occupy the paint more. And it's your job to close out anyway, but don't give these guys that much respect. Jimmy's looking for a straight line to the hoop. It is more likely the Heat are going to convert on that. Look at Isaiah Hartenstein. Perfect defense. Let's look at that one more time. Let's look at Hartenstein right here. Perfect defense by Isaiah Hartenstein. Go straight up, take away that straight line from Jimmy Butler. Once again, in this play right here, the Knicks can definitely borrow something off the Heat's playbook. They can definitely have Brunson or quickly right now is kind of playing a center role. Brunson step up right here and take away Jimmy Butler's straight line penetration. They completely have taken it away from Jalen Brunson. Why not do it to Jimmy Butler on the other end? The Heat are shooting almost as worse as us from three-point range naturally. So right now we can't get any offensive rebounds to get any second chance points. We're shooting horribly, but the Heat are not faring that much better. So let's take away the high post area from Jimmy Butler the same way the Heat are taking it away from Jalen Brunson, and let's gamble on the Heat shooters. I mean, look at that. Jalen Brunson just stays exactly where he's at. What if he was right here the whole time? Jimmy would have never had that straight line to come in the paint, because this whole area right here is his bag. As you'll see right here. Look at that. He's in his bag. That whole paint area is where he goes to work, and the Heat are not letting Brunson get in this area at all. I don't know why the Knicks are allowing Butler to do so. Knicks, once again, it's a combination of just letting Jimmy Butler get in the paint and a combination of effort. As off this pick right here, Josh Hart actually gets under the pick, but look at the off-ball movement by the Heat. Look at Caleb Martin. He's actually gonna try to clear out some space and set a screen on RJ to try to get Jimmy Butler a clear lane. But it's really the laziness of Randle of how this play plays out. But pay attention to Caleb Martin just to start off this play. Look at Caleb Martin. Look at RJ. He actually sets this pick. I'm saying the Heat, look how many picks are being set at the same time. Josh Hart is actually trying to occupy the space and not let Jimmy Butler come back in. He's trying to recover. But look at Randle. Why is Randle facing this way? And then Caleb Martin is actually setting a pick to make sure that RJ doesn't get in Butler's way when he tries to, attack the paint, just in case. But why is Randle facing this way? Let's see it play out. RJ recovers, trying to recover. Josh Hart's trying to recover. And look at Randle. Look at Randle right here. I question, what is this effort right here? What is this about? What is that about? Ooh. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Me personally, I think the Knicks should not let Jimmy Butler even get a lane to just come in the paint. Let's gamble on the Miami Heat shooters. But that was a poor effort by Julius Randle just now. So once again, going into game 4, I believe the Knicks should be stopping Jimmy Butler's straight line drives. You're going to see Jalen Brunson here not fully commit into occupying his high post. So pay attention to Julius Randle right here, occupying his high post, and Jalen Brunson, which I believe he should have fully committed. Jimmy Butler in this drive right here. You see, look at Brunson. Brunson is going to act like he's going to try to poke his hand in there, and he's not going to fully commit, showing too much respect to Strus. The Knicks are showing way too much respect to the Heat shooters, because let's just say if this was Jalen Brunson on the offensive end, the Heat would have closed out right here. There would be a guy closing out right here, and another defender would be occupying this space right here, stopping any type of just straight line drive to the hoop. But the Knicks are they're showing the Heat shooters way too much respect. Look at Jalen Brunson. He doesn't fully commit. And this is Jimmy Butler's bag. Attacking the hoop, drawing the foul. You see, Hartenstein's right. He's right in the restricted area. These are the types of adjustments the Knicks can make. They're just showing the Heat shooters way too much respect. So this is the perfect defense against Jimmy Butler right here. The only thing, he got bailed out with a foul. But look at Brunson. Brunson creeping up, taking away them driving lanes right here. Taking this away from Jimmy. Look at Hartenstein backing him up, taking that away from Jimmy. And we gotta gamble. We gotta bet on these guys making shots right here. Gotta bet on these guys. The Heat, if you go back and look at all the three-point shooting that they had in this series, they don't fare that much better than we do. So they took away his driving lanes, and unfortunately, he got bailed out with the foul right here on Brunson. Well, we finally see some life from Julius Randle as he's going to step up. Finally, he's going to step up right here and kind of block that straight line driving lane that Jimmy Butler almost had. Finally, Julius Randle starting to wake up a little bit. Just take a look at Julius Randle. See, he closes it out. Butler has nowhere to go. Now, right here, real quick, it's not necessarily about the play, but I just want to show how the Miami Heat, at times, they switch between the man-to-man and the 2-3 zone. And sometimes they'll have 4 players playing in that sort of 2-3 zone style, and then they'll have Jimmy Butler play man-to-man at the same time. You kind of almost see it here, as look at Jimmy Butler follow RJ Barrett. See, as he's gonna go through the court, try to follow RJ all the way down here. These guys, even though he's playing this way, these 4 players outside of Jimmy are still gonna form that wall, because at any moment they're gonna switch to that 2-3 zone. But sometimes Miami will just have Jimmy guard RJ. So right now in this game, they don't want RJ Barrett to get off to the hot start that he did in game 1 and 2. So sometimes they will implement a sort of scheme where they play man-to-man just on RJ, and these guys will do the man-to-man but sort of zone at the same time. Eric Spoelstra has done this before. I've seen it plenty of times from him. Look at RJ and Jimmy. But also, just pay attention to these guys. They're waiting for someone to, like Josh Hart, to try to penetrate and get right here. Now RJ messes that up. That goes out of bounds. But Josh Hart, even though he was right here, let's say he never made that pass to RJ, they will have Gabe Vincent right here occupy this area. Even though he's man-to-man right now on Brunson, they'll have him occupy right here, just in case Josh Hart tries to get past Strus and get into the paint, where this is pretty much the area where the zone defense is going to be weak at. They just prevent guys from getting in here. But in this play right here, this is just a concept I just wanted to bring attention to, because the Heat, once again, at times, they will kind of run a scheme between 4 players outside of Jimmy to kind of play that man-to-man, but quickly at the same time kind of be in that zone. And then Jimmy will be trying to take away the other team's dominant wing player, which RJ Barrett, he's not really our dominant wing player, but he's killed the Heat in the first 2 games in this series, just especially in the start of that first quarter. So the Heat are trying to take that away very early. Now look at the Heat right here. They straight took away the middle. As soon as Brunson gets the ball, look at Strus. He's creeping up. He's creeping up to get right here. Look at the Heat. Look at his attention. Fully on Strus. This is where, as soon as his head turns around, Josh Hart should be attacking the baseline. And then even with RJ, once again, Gabe Vincent occupying this area right here in the high post. They're always going to have someone blocking RJ's ability to go downhill. Same thing for Brunson, and especially Josh Hart. If he's up here, they're going to stop that middle dribble penetration. Yeah, the Knicks just settle for a 3. So this is why the Heat don't let Jalen Brunson occupy this high post area and get this straight line to come in the lane, is because they understand that his dribble penetration is deadly. As we're going to see Jalen Brunson right here actually pull like a Donovan Mitchell move with a nice fake. Got him right there. Lovely. And he went straight into the lane and gets the and 1 on Cody Zeller. But this is why the Heat do not want Brunson to get any dribble penetration here, because they understand he is deadly. He can make things happen for the Knicks. The Knicks on the other end of the floor letting Jimmy Butler get to his spots. But meanwhile, the Miami Heat not even letting Jalen Brunson get any clear dribble penetration lanes to just come in the paint and do his thing. As you'll see right here, look at the defenders. Got 1, 2, 3. They're not letting Brunson come in at all. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. They got Killer Martin paying attention to Brunson. Bam occupying the high post. Like, they're not playing. They are not letting Brunson get any dribble penetration. And I don't understand why on the other end the Knicks are just letting Jimmy Butler get exactly that. They are gambling on the Knicks 3-point shooters. We should be doing the same. Miami's not faring any better. And also at the same time, with us just launching these 3-point shots and them having so many guys in the paint, it's allowing the Heat to get rebounds and making sure that we don't have any second chance points. So on this play right here, Miami actually gave the Knicks a different look. They went man to man. And this is one of the rare few times I've seen the Heat actually let Brunson get in there. They gave him a clear lane to attack the hoop. And he's a good finisher, low key. And Gabe Vincent normally would occupy right here and not let Jalen Brunson get a clear lane to attack the hoop. And he would normally close out on RJ Barrett, if anything. So if Brunson got through and dished it out to Barrett, Gabe Vincent's job is just to close out on RJ. But his main job is not allowing Brunson to get any type of clear lanes to the hoop. They just been blocking Brunson this whole series. It's one of the few times I've seen Jalen Brunson actually get to the cup just 1v1. I guess the Heat was slipping right there. Now, with our offense being stagnant the whole game, we got to look at a lot of these possessions from jump, from super early to see what's going on, what's the initial setup. I see Randall parked way out here all the time. And to kill the Miami Heat defense, we got to have guys parked up in the high post. Once someone is in there, especially someone like Julius Randle, who has great passing ability, he can kill this zone real quick. He can catch guys open for three. He can catch RJ cut into the hoop. He could pull up for a jumper or get that high-low pass going. He could get something going from right here. But nobody's occupying this space. And at times, guys even struggle to make that initial entry bounce pass or just post-up pass. There's just nothing going on here. This is the weakness of the zone. And this is just something I just figured to bring up because even in this play, Brunson just runs into a wall. Wonder if right here, the Knicks don't have confidence in Mitch. Because this is Gabe Vincent right here. Even if he had his hands up, Brunson could lob this pass over to Mitch. And Mitch could step up in this area. In this area right here. If Mitch stepped up right there, he can submit a high-low pass to RJ. If RJ's cut into the hoop, he can get Brunson open for three. Something. We can get something going, but it's just, I don't know if they don't have faith in Mitch's handles or Mitch is just not ready for that yet. But this could be a next great evolution of Mitch. To not just be that rebounder, but to be that guy to have the high basketball IQ to start making great decisions in that high post area. With the Knicks offense, it's all about the early part of their possession. Once again, look at Randall. Why is he parked so far out from the post? Get that big body at the high post, the weakness of the zone defense. And watch Strus, even though he's guarding Josh Hart right here, his job is just going to be to close out. As Brunson comes in, watch him start nudging to get in this area. Unless somebody's already there, the Heat are closing gaps for Brunson to get in there and have that initial penetration, especially coming in the middle. But pay attention to Strus right here. Pay attention to Strus. Look at him. Look at him creeping. By the time he creeps, somebody's already there. He has no lane to get in there. So it's either he kicks out to Josh Hart, and then Strus's main job will just to be to close out. Meanwhile, he'll have backup. And he has double backup. So the main thing with the Knicks in this zone that the Heat are kind of killing us with is to get someone right here to catch the ball in the high post and kind of tear apart the Heat's defenders, man, by making passes. Guys gonna start making cuts. We got alley hoops, bounce passes, get guys layups. We got RJ open. Once we attack this zone from right here, it's sort of their weak spot. Guys off ball, they gotta move. This is how we're gonna kill this team. Now, this is one of the few times I've seen the Knicks actually operate out of the high post. As Julius Randle is gonna attempt a high-low pass to Josh Hart. This is the very few times I've seen the Knicks operate out of the high post area. But Randle normally could get a high-low pass, or he could kick out for a guy at the three-point line, or somebody could swing around right here. But he's gonna attempt a high-low pass to Josh Hart right here. Josh Hart just doesn't convert. And who knows, if Hartenstein was positioned right here, Josh Hart could either bounce pass or just lob it off of, like, just one catch. Yeah. But it's like the rare few times you see the Knicks actually have someone here to operate out of this area. It'd be great to see if they get someone the ball initially right here in this high post area facing the hoop to kill that zone defense. So once again, let's look at Randall in that high post area. Is he facing the hoop? Never really get a guy to face the hoop. See, the Heat are uncomfortable right here. They got a lot of small guys on the floor, and they have someone in their little weak spot, which is right here. But Randall does have options. Maybe if Brunson showed face more like right here, Randall's immediate vision, or Randall just has options. If guys start moving their bodies, swinging around, as you see, Josh Hart is making his cuts, and he could have found Hartenstein if Hartenstein was already right here. But there are more options if the Knicks operate out of this high post area, particularly in Eric Spoelstra's 2-3 zone. Okay, so now right here, you're gonna watch Isaiah Hartenstein set a pick for RJ, and RJ is gonna go straight downhill. Remember what I said about the Miami Heat earlier is that they're very particular about the way they set screens. They actually position their bodies sort of in the direction of half court when they understand guys like Jimmy Butler can drive straight downhill, depending on the player. But look at the screen that Isaiah Hartenstein set. Look at his feet. Look at his feet. At first he was lined up towards the sidelines. And with screens like that, RJ can go east to west perfectly, go left to right. But when you have the position that he's at now, which that should have been the original way Hartenstein should have set the screen, then RJ can head straight downhill. But he tries to change it last minute. He sort of was still lined up towards the sideline, which allows the defender to go right up under. But had he initially been facing the sideline with that screen, the defender wouldn't be able to go under, and RJ would have easier time going downhill. RJ was still able to finish. But the Miami Heat overall, when they set screens, they pay attention to these type of things. If you look at all their screens, particularly with Jimmy Butler, guys sort of are facing this way. They'll get right behind you, set the screen this way. But with Hartenstein, he's still facing the sideline. As RJ Barrett, he was able to finish in this play right here, but look at the defender. He was able to get right under that screen because Hartenstein was still facing the sideline. Once again, look at the kind of picks the Knicks are setting for RJ Barrett, the guy who goes downhill off the pick and roll. Isaiah Hartenstein is facing the sideline. Look at that. And allows the defender to duck under. See, RJ is going to attack the hoop and have a much tougher finish right here. But had Hartenstein been sort of facing this direction, caught him under, facing towards the half court line, you know, he would have to actually go over, try to go over. And RJ would completely be ahead of him and go downhill 1v1. Look at that. Right on two defenders for a really tough finish. Once again, with the Heat, they don't set screens like that, particularly for their guys that go straight downhill like Jimmy Butler. Now look at the type of screen Cody Zeller sets on RJ. RJ completely has to go over. He doesn't allow him any space. Look at that. Even though his body's facing the sidelines, the way he sets the screen, RJ completely has to go over, which is going to allow Kyle Lowry to go downhill and also Cody Zeller. Look how he positions his body. Look at that. Takes advantage of the new NBA rules with these moving screens. It's all legal because he's technically just in the way, and it allows Cody Zeller to go straight downhill. And just get that nice finish. But once again, it's all about the small details, and you have to look at the kind of screens that the Heat are setting versus the Knicks. They're setting a lot of screens where guys easily can get under or get over if they have to. Let's take a look at that one more time. Cody Zeller getting right behind RJ. Look where he's facing. He's facing the half court. He's trying to set that screen so RJ cannot get under. He completely has to commit and go over. Look at that. Look at RJ. He has to completely go over. And Cody Zeller already knows what he has to do. He's completely going downhill now, along with Kyle Lowry. They're both going downhill. A nice 1-2. Now, sometimes, even with the Heat 2-3 zone, we struggle with the initial entry pass, either in the high post or around the baseline area. But right now, the Heat on this play, they're running man-to-man. But RJ Barrett, once again, he's going to struggle with getting that initial entry pass into Julius Randle. Does it look like Strus is going to make the read here? Let's see what he does. Strus made the read perfect there. But initially, we are struggling to get initial entry pass to within this perimeter here. Guys not making cuts. We're not making passes, catching them in stride. And sometimes when the Heat do kind of switch up to the 2-3 zone, we got to utilize these baselines more. This is going to be a weak point. Once again, let's look at how things were shaping up in the beginning of this possession. Yeah, it looks like the Heat are playing man-to-man. RJ, yeah, bad entry pass. We struggled with this in game 1 a bit with the passing. The passing was sloppy, especially around the perimeter. But yeah, this is something we definitely got to improve. So it looks like in both our losses, we struggle with the passing in general. Okay, so let's look at the types of screens Josh Hart is setting here. He's sort of facing the sidelines once again, and it's easy for Gabe Vincent to either go under, or sometimes, if depending how Jalen Brunson attacks his screen, if he stays close to his hip, sometimes it even allows him to go over. But if Brunson wants to go downhill, Josh Hart gotta set a flat screen. He gotta be right here. He gotta be facing the half court line, so that way he can't go under. Gabe Vincent would have to completely commit and go over the screen. But look how he ducks these screens. Once again, Josh Hart is going to set it again. Once again, look where he's facing. He's facing the sideline. He could either go over or easily duck under. Josh Hart should be setting his feet right here, and he should be facing the half court line. That way he cannot go under. He would have to completely commit and go over. And that way Brunson could go straight downhill. And even he could duck on the flare screen and go to the hoop. But look how easily Gabe Vincent ducks this. The types of screens they're setting is wrong. And if you look at the Heat, particularly when Jimmy Butler is going downhill, their screens, look at their screeners every time. They're facing the half court line. They make sure they get completely behind you. So that way you completely have to go over and Jimmy Butler will go straight downhill. So the types of screens Jalen Brunson's getting right here is off. And of course the Heat, they're not going to allow him to get dribble penetration. You combine that with the wrong screens being set right here. It makes a tough day for Brunson. So Jalen Brunson at times, especially off the pick and roll, he be missing out on guys. Look at Josh Hart, wide open right here. He could easily operate from the high post and just kill these guys with his zone. So now he has an option of a high-low pass to Randle in case Butler comes up, or if one of these guys come up, you got quickly open here where you can make the move to Josh Hart. Josh Hart could pump fake and attack the baseline, which is the weak part of their zone. But Jalen Brunson at times, he does miss guys wide open, especially after the pick. Look at Josh Hart. Oh man, this is the sweet spot right here. Ooh, in that zone, this is the sweet spot. Get it to him right now. Guys are gonna have to come up quickly. Could easily get an open three-pointer right here. But Brunson, in that initial turn off that pick, he missed him. And look at Randle. He's right on Jimmy Butler. Hartenstein can hit him with the high-low pass. This is so many options to kill the Heat from right here. And even Josh Hart, in case the Knicks miss, he can easily crash the boards right here. So the Heat right here go super small. Cody Zeller at center. Jimmy Butler at power forward. I mean, man, Knicks gonna have to quickly get some dribble penetration here. Look at Randle. He quickly makes his move. Look at that. Randall just completely got a mismatch on Jimmy. Jimmy just sliding, man. He's doing the Michael Jackson slide to the sidelines, and it creates things open. Look at Josh Hart right here. That's all off of that quick decision making. And look, there's plenty of Knicks after that penetration to crash the boards. Hartenstein is gonna have a shot because Caleb Martin is trying to get to Josh Hart. So Hartenstein is gonna have a chance to get that offensive board. Randall's ready in the paint. And quickly he's just around the baseline just in case they throw a pass to him. But you see, like, when that initial just quick decision to get in the paint, to break down that defense, not allow that zone to set up, it leaves chances for us to get offensive rebounds, which is the only reason our offensive rating the whole year was high. We couldn't shoot for shit, but we still was able to get second chance points. That's how we stayed up there at the top of the league when it comes to overall team scoring. Okay, so right here is one of the very few times I've seen the Knicks actually get the ball right there into the high post. I mean, the Heat cannot they cannot operate as effectively in that zone. Once Randall has the ball right here, especially if he's facing towards the hoop, guys, now it's just all about their off-ball movement. Where are guys going? What are guys doing? They can't be parked at the three-point line. Start moving. Randall goes one-on-one with Bam, but as you see the Heat, that 2-3 zone, that man-to-man 2-3 zone starts looking a lot different once somebody starts occupying the high post. If you got something to Obi, guys gotta look at Randall and have eyes behind their head. The Heat do have great communication, but the zone is not as effective once the Knicks start operating in here. The baselines get exposed a lot more, which is another weak part of the zone. But what are guys doing? Randall just going one-on-one. Guys are kind of standing still hovering around the three-point line. Obi's the only one that made a move. When Obi's making this baseline move, somebody else got to be setting screens, doing other things for other people to get to move around. And it just draws a foul on Bam. But guys are just parked up at the three-point line. And this is my issue with Grimes. Falls in love with just staying parked over here. He's sort of out of the play. Brunson, Josh Hart, everybody's just standing still. Almost huddled up, all on the same side of the court. Now this is why Bam is so valuable for the Heat. Look at this nice pin down screen that he sets, and he completely gets Grimes off of Jimmy Butler. Knicks need to do more of this right here. Look at this pin down screen. Once again, the Heat players, when they set screens, they're always facing the half court line. Even though like the screen right now is almost faced towards the sideline, it's always faced towards the half court line to allow Jimmy to drive straight down. Look at that. They make sure that Grimes can't completely go under. He has to go over. But look at this pin down screen set by Bam. Bam completely now forces Grimes to actually be his man. And he gets that one-on-one with Jimmy Butler and Julius Randle. And if he really wanted to pin Grimes on him, all he had to do is just go straight to the hoop. And Grimes will have no choice but to stick with him. The Knicks need to do this a lot more to get Julius Randle mismatches on the other end, particularly with Kyle Lowry, Strus, and sometimes when they have Highsmith, and believe it or not, it's a mismatch even with number 16 right here, Caleb Martin. So it is what it is. The Knicks need to do a lot more of that. With the Miami Heat playing that zone defense, they're basically not letting the Knicks get any offensive and second chance points. As you'll see in the box out right here, when the Knicks settle for these three-point shots and they have guys almost sitting at the outside, in the perimeter, it doesn't allow them to get the second chance points that we're normally used to seeing. The Heat take their defensive rebounding really serious. I think they finished top 5 during the regular season. So unlike the Cleveland Cavaliers, even though they had the Twin Towers down there, they were a bottom tier defensive rebounding team. So this is one of the key factors that the Miami Heat has sort of hedged their bet on, is that we're not going to get those second chance points. So when you factor in us turning the ball over, them capitalizing on those turnovers, them hitting more free throws, and also them in game 1 getting just 2 more 3-point shots than us, and their bench points, guys like Kyle Lowry just getting a few more points than just our overall bench. You factor all these little things, these are the things that are keeping the Heat ahead of us in this series. It's not necessarily they're more talented than us, they're just beating us in these few key metrics. So in this 2-3 zone, here's the issue with the Knicks not just getting any dribble penetration or any action out of the high post or anybody just cutting, is that they're not going to get any offensive rebounds. Look at the Heat down low. Look how many guys are there to secure the rebound and make sure the Knicks don't go on their offensive rebound streak. Because this is how we had a high offensive rating throughout the whole year. We got a lot of second chance points. The Heat, they're going to start eliminating that, especially if we just don't attack and break down this 2-3 zone. So let's take a look at that one more time. Look how many guys are occupying around the paint space. And look at, by the time Brunson shoots the shot up, look at everyone's hovering around the 3-point line. This is exactly what they want. And they're going to secure enough defensive rebounds, which they've been a top 5 defensive rebounding team all season. But we really rely on getting the second chance points, which we killed them with in game 2, particularly in the second half. But when we just have possessions like this, I mean, look how many guys are around the hoop. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 guys that can box out. It's not even close. So in our losses in game 1 and in game 3, the Heat kind of kept the defensive rebounding close to the hip with us. They did not allow us to crash the boards, and also along with them going to the free throw line and capitalizing off of points off of our turnovers. You combine all of these things, that's how they stay in these games. It's not like their players are just out shooting us. If you guys go back and look at the team stats in all 3 games, their 3-point shooting is almost as bad as ours. Is that once again, they're making sure that they're not letting us crash the boards in both their victories. Right here, another dud possession with no ball movement. But when Brunson gets this up, I mean, look at this wall right here. How are we supposed to get offensive possessions? The Heat are really focusing on not letting us crash the board. Look at Randall trying to crash, but look how many people he has to get in between. This is why we couldn't get any offensive boards. Remember, the Heat are top 5 in defensive rebounding. So I don't know in these like possessions where we kind of fall into the trap of just settling for threes and everybody's parked at the 3-point line. There's no way we're gonna get offensive rebounds for second chance points. Trying to get through a box out of like 4 people. I mean, that's not really gonna equate to a high offensive rebounding rate. I don't see it. Once again, the offensive rebound is going to be a struggle. But right here, look at Hartenstein. He's trying to occupy the high post. This is the weak point of this defense. You got Strus here acting like the center. And then this guy's right. He's supposed to be right here in the closeout. Jimmy Butler also in the wing, playing kind of a man-to-man on the bigger Randall. But right here, this initial entry pass right here is how the Knicks are really going to break down this zone. This is one of the few rare times I've seen the Knicks actually got the ball to the high post. And really, Hartenstein's supposed to initiate a high-low pass to Randall or Mitchell Robinson or anyone else that's right here that has a mismatch. And then guys at the same time supposed to start making their cuts. Somebody's supposed to make their cut, maybe to show here for the 3-point shot. Or Brunson can roll around right here so Hartenstein could give him the initial pass. So maybe some of the Heat players can try to close out on that 3. But this is where the Knicks initially is supposed to start cooking this zone. This is one of the weak points of the zone right here in the high post, and also down here in the baselines. This is super rare. But once again, going back to the offensive rebounding, you're gonna see here in this possession, Josh Hart just take this shot, but look at Randall. Randall's the only guy that's going to try to get this rebound. Of course, he has a mismatch on Jimmy Butler, but look how many guys he has to battle to get that rebound. Look at that. Meanwhile, everyone else was parked at the 3-point line. All right, so with the Knicks in this matchup, there's been too much 1v1 as Randall's going to go one-on-one here with Bam. Bam has made multiple all NBA teams, and this kind of killed the Knicks because it led up to a lot of bad shots. And also with the Miami Heat, as you see, they go from like a man-to-man to a 2-3 zone. As you see Strus right here, he kind of occupies the space to prevent Randall from having a straight line to attack the hoop in case he gets past Bam. The Heat are constantly hedging and getting to these spaces to clog up Brunson or Randall from attacking the hoop. And another issue I've always had with Randall in this game, why does he keep receiving the ball all the way up here? He's got to find a way to get in this zone and get the ball here so he can face up and start making passes here or here. But in this play right here, we're going to see, once again, as you see Strus, look at Strus. He's creeping up, trying to occupy that space, prevent Randall from getting a straight line. Now, my only issue right here, there's like a crowd up right here. I don't know if guys are trying to do a couple of screeners to get someone free, but someone should be driving right here to get this pass. And of course, Hart is showing out. He should be somewhere around here where he at to get a pass from Randall. But still, no one's showing out. Someone should get right here. Someone should be making this cut right across, but no one's doing that. And then Randall takes a tough shot. So this is a reoccurring theme throughout this matchup as we've seen Randall go one-on-one with Bam, who once again made all NBA team defense. And just that 1v1 matchup without any screens or any type of ways of pinning other people on Bam instead of Randall, it just killed us in this game. No offensive flow. Once again, in this matchup, way too much ISO one-on-one with Bam and Julius Randle. Keep in mind, Bam, just like Jimmy Butler, has made all NBA team defenses multiple times. Now, Mitch just tried to set a high ball screen to get some dribble penetration within this zone defense. It's not quite set up yet. It looks like they're running man-to-man as of now. But the Knicks all game has struggled to get right here. Get somebody right here, at least facing the hoop to make some sort of pass or just some sort of ball movement, make something happen. So Mitch on this high screen right here doesn't really create any gaps. There's no real holes for someone to get through. But once again, the Heat, they are playing man-to-man here. As you see Randall taking on Bam. Damn. That was a horrible shot by Randall. It was not even open, but Bam kept his stance right there. Now look at Randall off this rebound. Keep in mind, Bam is all NBA team defense. Bang. That's pretty much the story of this game. Look how Randall's on the floor. And this is after the fact that Bam on the other end, he just bodied Randall to the hoop. He just posted him up, bodied him, and got to the rack. I mean, I don't know if the Knicks' energy was just off in this game. I don't know what was going on, but guys was not with it. Julius Randle once again going 1v1 against Bam. Damn, Bam is all defense. Juju can't get it this game. Well, in game 3, for some reason, I don't know why, there was too much 1v1 with RJ versus Jimmy Butler straight up. Same thing for Julius Randle and Bam. Both Jimmy Butler and Bam made all NBA team defenses. I don't know why. It's just 1v1 straight up. This doesn't make any sense. RJ just goes up against Jimmy just straight up and just gets blocked. And the same thing that happened with Randall in this game. Randall just straight up getting snuffed every time. Didn't even throw a pick, nothing. No ball movement, no off-ball movement, no play ran, nothing. So the 1v1 action, particularly in game 3 between RJ Barrett versus Jimmy Butler and Bam versus Randall, anytime they went ISO against these guys, which they made all NBA team defense multiple times, the 1v1 action never seemed to work out. We lost both those battles. That's something we definitely got to work on going into the next game. The Heat, once again, cornering Brunson. They're going to get at least 4 guys on him in the paint. But interesting enough, once again, look how many guys parked at the three-point line. This is the purpose of the zone, to get you to shoot these outside shots. Look at Randall, big body. Should be parked in here. Someone should be trying to get in here. Now, we need to set some high ball screens to get guys to go downhill and try to get in here so you can make a pass, to make a high-low pass, something. Someone's got to occupy this high post area. You're going to see Brunson just kind of run into 4 guys. Look at that. Runs right into 4 guys. RJ does a good job to show right here for the bounce pass on the outside, but just the initial play, man, it's just, I mean, this is a reoccurring theme. We got Brunson just running into 4 guys. The Heat are just completely have eliminated the Knicks dribble penetration, particularly by Jalen Brunson. Now, as you see, Kevin Love set up this screen right here for Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler off this screen, he's gonna have a chance to get in here in a straight line, which it shouldn't be the case. So as we look at right here, Jalen Brunson, he should have been right here. He should have stopped Jimmy Butler from having a straight line from coming in here. We gotta stop that dribble penetration by Jimmy. We're gonna take a look at that one more time. Now we're gonna see Kevin Love throw that screen, and right away, Brunson should be occupying right here. He should be occupying right here. Wherever Jimmy's gonna have a straight downhill line to come to the paint, as we're gonna see. Brunson, you see right now, he sees Jimmy's headed downhill. He should have scooted over. Jimmy should not have no clear space to attack the hoop. The Knicks are respecting the Heat three-point shooters a little bit too much. They are only a few three-pointers better than us. In this game, there's only one three-pointer better than us. I mean, they are not really killing us from 3. But we cannot allow Jimmy to have that clear lane dribble penetration. They're not even allowing Brunson, RJ, Randall, no one to even attack the paint like that. I don't understand how we're letting them do the same. Brunson should step up in that high post area and not give Jimmy a straight line to attack the hoop. Boy, I tell you what, the NBA definitely changed the way they do these illegal screens. Look at Bam right here. Look at that screen. And once again, like I said, anytime Miami sets a screen and they're facing the half court line, more than likely the person off that pick and roll is going straight downhill. But watch the communication between Mitch and Brunson right here. Mitch, of course, on that Thibs defense, sort of gets in your way, but he's dropping back, hoping Brunson is supposed to recover. Look at the communication. Strus just lays it in. This is the kind of effort the Knicks had this whole game. Now the Miami Heat right here completely are disregarding some of the guys that are parked up from three-point range. In this particular play, Quentin Grimes, as Jimmy Butler completely is going to rotate and actually occupy the paint while Josh Hart actually has an open basket right here. Now look at that. Jimmy completely disregards Grimes. He rotates and helps out. Now, the only reason I brought up this play because I believe on the other end with the Knicks, when we're on defense, the only difference is our defenders are not rotating and occupying certain spaces. We're not helping out. Guys are actually giving the three-point shooters in Miami a little bit too much respect. They are not shooting that much better than us from 3. We're actually shooting horribly, but they're just shooting maybe 1 or 2 shots better than us. So the Knicks right now, they're giving the Heat three-pointers way too much respect, and they need to start occupying some of the gaps in which some of these offensive players like Gabe Vincent, when he attacks the hoop, he does not have the dribbling skills to alleviate defenders and then, you know, make a nice little move into the hoop. Same thing for Max Strus. These guys don't have this type of dribbling skills, and we're giving them way too much respect by just hugging these three-point lines and just staying next to them. When guys are just penetrating, we should be helping out with that and let them take that shot. But you see the same concept here with Jimmy Butler, the way he just disregarded Grimes. We could do the same thing on the other end. Once again, they're not shooting that much better than us. And once again, with the Miami Heat, they have a lot of players who don't really have that dribbling skill set to kind of drive and get themselves open and sort of create for themselves. So what they do is that they utilize the off-ball movement. And in this flare screen right here, Duncan Robinson is going to act like he's going to set a pick on Grimes, and he's going to slip for the three-point shot and take advantage of this miscommunication between Emmanuel Quickley and Quentin Grimes, as you're going to see right here. Let's take a look at them in slow motion. Look at Grimes and Quickley. It's almost like a stutter step. There's a slip. Look, last minute. Look at them. Look at the acceleration. They got completely caught off guard as Duncan Robinson hits the shot right there. Once again, you got to be careful with the Heat because they definitely know how to utilize that off-ball movement. All right, so let's take a look at that one more time. As Duncan Robinson is going to do that little flare screen, act like he's going to set a pick right here, and then he's going to slip. Look at that. Completely catches Grimes and Quickly off guard. Now, when I look at this play right here, I ask myself, are the Knicks giving the Miami Heat shooters too much respect? And you'll see it in a second while I'm asking this, as Jalen Brunson double teams Jimmy Butler. But look at Jalen Brunson. He's running back to cover Vincent. Now, Gabe Vincent in game 2, people thought he killed us. He was making all these buzzer beater shots, but he was 4 of 12 from 3-point range. And just keep in mind, in all these games, including this game 3, the Miami Heat have not shot well from 3. It's just the Knicks have just been shooting extra horribly. But at the same time, the Heat are not faring any better. So in totality, when you look at this game, the Knicks were 8 of 40 from 3-point range. Meanwhile, the Heat was 7 of 32. I mean, game 2 kind of played out the same way, and game 1 played out the same way. The Knicks were just horrible from 3, but the Heat didn't really fare that much better. And I'm just wondering if we're just giving the Heat players way too much respect. I mean, Brunson's running at Gabe Vincent as if he's Stephen Curry. And it's actually going to create almost a different kind of opportunity for the Heat. Like, look, just him being too overzealous gives Bam actually a nice little hole to get through if he was able to squeeze his bounce pass. But in a way, it kind of creates more opportunity for other players. As guys now get more open, you got Jimmy Butler here. If he could somehow lob that to Bam, and Bam make that extra pass, and it'll get other guys open. Sometimes I feel like the Knicks are a little bit too overzealous on Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, and Caleb Martin hitting these threes. These guys are not that special. I mean, if the Knicks just shoot just a tad bit better, we would be in these games. Once again, in this play right here, you're seeing the Knicks give the Heat 3-point shooters way too much respect. This is Strus right here. And you're going to see Jalen Brunson, once Jimmy Butler tries to get a straight line or just 1v1 against Josh Hart, you're going to see Brunson, instead of trying to occupy the space and make sure Jimmy doesn't have a straight line to the hoop, he's going to try to fight Bam to get over the screen. Just look at Brunson. Look at Brunson. Look where Jimmy's at. Look at Brunson. Why is Brunson trying to get over here as if Max Strus is some sort of Stephen Curry? Brunson, no lie, should have been right here to stop Jimmy from trying to get to the hoop. Give it up. Let's bet on Strus making these shots. The Heat are faring no better than us from 3-point range in this series. Because right now, this is Jimmy's sweet spot all around here. Once again, I think the Knicks might be giving the Heat shooters way too much respect. Way too much respect for Gabe Vincent, Strus, and Caleb Martin. Now, in this play right here, you're going to see Jimmy get a straight line to go to the cup. And you're going to see Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. They stand next to these guys here. They give them way too much respect. You see Jimmy Butler making that turn. And once again, look at RJ Barrett and Julius Randle. They standing still. They should have moved up, start occupying the paint to stop Jimmy from coming in. Now, Bam is not even a 3-point threat. I don't know why Julius is still there. And then RJ, he's giving Gabe Vincent way too much respect. Once again, in game 2, Gabe Vincent went 4 for 12 from 3. The Heat did not shoot that well. I mean, it's been like that all series. I feel like we're just giving too much respect to these guys at the 3-point line. The Heat are not giving Jalen Brunson any free range to come into the paint at all. He doesn't get that straight line drive that you see Jimmy Butler's getting right here. By the time Brunson starts making his moves, they got defenders already hedging and stopping any free straight line dribble penetration that Brunson can get. So I don't know why the Knicks on the other end are not doing the same thing. Once again, Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, they should be stepping up as soon as Jimmy makes that turn. they should be stepping up, but yet they're giving these guys at the 3-point line way too much respect. Bam is not going to pull up from here, and Gabe Vincent, once again, he's not really killing us like that. So right here, I don't know if Julius Randle just wasn't focused, but you're going to see Jalen Brunson slowly make his way right here to occupy the space and not give Jimmy Butler that free range, that straight line drive to the hoop. Now Julius Randle, he should have been pulling up right here to do the same thing, but you're gonna see right here, he doesn't do anything. He just stands still. Once again, look at Jalen Brunson as he's gonna creep up. Look at Jalen Brunson. See, he's occupying that space on the high post, and Julius Randle should have been doing the same thing. But watch, he's just gonna watch Jimmy Butler just drive straight in. Look at that. What's up with Julius in this series? Even if Julius Randle had reached in, he could still close out on Kevin Love. Still have enough space. Julius doesn't seem like he was locked in this game. Now, this is why I love Josh Hart. He pays attention to the small details. Remember when Kevin Love killed us in game 1 with those 3 outlet passes in that third quarter, which put the Heat up when they were making that little comeback. And he's going to pay attention right here and not allow Kevin Love to make the same outlet passes again. Watch Josh Hart. He's going to deflect that. No, not today, boy. And Hartenstein is able to secure that possession. Once again, this is paying attention to the small details in these matchups against the Heat, because they pretty much do the same thing. But Kevin Love, this is a very slick thing that he does right on the outlet passes, especially when Knicks take shots from the corners. He loves to find the cutting man all on the other side of the court. Excellent defense right here by the Knicks, not allowing Jimmy Butler to get any straight line driving lanes. You're gonna see Jalen Brunson right here sort of hedge, and then also Josh Hart actually stick with Jimmy, not giving him no free range. Once again, stop respecting their shooters so much. They're not killing us from 3 like that. Don't allow Jimmy that dribble penetration. And then Jimmy makes a pass here, and Brunson, he could still make the recovery. Obi can make this recovery right here, or even Grimes. So let's not act like these guys are going to kill us from 3, as we're going to see Khalid Martin actually take this shot. Look at Brunson on the recovery. This is what we should be doing to the Heat shooters. Give them that space. They have not been killing us in the first 3 games of this series, and they're not that much of a crazy 3-point shooting team. They've been horrible actually this entire season, and the only time they started turning up is in that first round matchup. Not even in the play-in, but the first round matchup. As you see, Khalid Martin misses that shot. Once again, not allowing Jimmy Butler any straight line drives, just like how the Heat do not even allow Jalen Brunson to even get a straight line drive here or right here. Now we got to get better energy from our captains. Look at Julius Randle. His man is Kevin Love right here. And he could easily have occupied this space. As off this screen, once again, we all know Thibs love to have the center drop back while he waits, while the wing recovers and tries to get in the way. But Randle, he could have easily occupied this space right here and stopped this dribble penetration. We need much better effort from our captains. You look at it in real slow motion. Look at Randle. He's going to walk past him. Once again, Randle should have been right there already. Occupy this space. Would have blocked him from coming in. Look at Randle. It leads to a pass to Bam, and Bam ends up making the shot. But Randle just walked right past the offensive player, which is Gabe Vincent, going in there for the easy dribble penetration. Makes no sense. That should have never happened. Once again, look where Kevin Love is. So Randle was already coming down this line. He could have just stayed right here, occupied this space. And if they did a kick out to Love, he could have closed out. Once again, it's all about the efforts from the captains. Once again, let's look at this in slow motion. Look at Randle. He just walked right past him. With the Heat in this game, they had 50 points in the paint. We just have to stop that dribble penetration. Once again, we shot like shit, but the Heat didn't fare any better than us shooting. And this is like the 3rd game in a row where this is basically a circumstance. We're shooting horribly from 3, and the Heat they don't really fare that much better. They're just doing a lot of the small things, like making their free throws, not getting into foul trouble, and also not letting us grab offensive boards and get second chance points. And they actually convert off our turnovers. So they do small things like that. And this is how they're able to close the gap. But for the most part, from three, out here, they're shooting like shit, just like us. But all those things I just named is how they're closing the gap. So Julius Randle right here, lack of focus, man. Just he lets Gabe Vincent make this turn, and his defensive rotation was completely late. I mean, who you gonna leave open? Strus? Leave him open. You're just gonna give up a layup like that. It doesn't make any sense. Look at Gabe Vincent on the turn. Look how much time Randle got, and he's still looking at Strus. They're giving the Heat three-point shooters way too much respect. Brunson got Lowry, but you're closest. Let's close this gap out. And if anything, Brunson would be on the closeout to attack Strus. And then you recover. And meanwhile, while he does that, you recover in case the pass goes to Kyle Lowry. Or just look at that. Gabe Vincent just completely makes the turn. Randle just completely caught flat-footed. So in this play right here, look at Julius Randle. Look where he's at. Our defensive effort in game 3 was real questionable. Look at him off this miss. You see Randall's direction? He's already headed back. As Josh Hart took this 3. Now Kevin Love, in game 1, he killed us. He had 3 assists and got the Heat 6 points. 6 crucial points, I should say, in that third quarter with these outlet passes. Once again, keep in mind Randle is already headed back. And of course, Kevin Love is going to do his thing with these outlet passes to Strus. Now look at Randle. Remember, Randle was the first person headed back. Look at Randle. The Knicks' effort in this game was crazy. And this is coming from one of our captains. The Heat, once again, cornering Brunson. They're going to get at least 4 guys on him in the paint. But interesting enough, once again, look how many guys parked at the three-point line. This is the purpose of the zone, to get you to shoot these outside shots. Look at Randle, big body. Should be parked in here. In game 4, the Knicks are definitely going to need Quentin Grimes. Look at this 1v1 defense with Jimmy Butler right here. Grimes kills it. Look at that. Look at Grimes. Sticking with Jimmy. Jimmy loves to get within this range. This is his bag right here. All right here. This is his bag. Great defense by Grimes. We're definitely going to need him for the next game to actually make his open three-point shots and to play great defense on Jimmy Beans right here. We're quickly most likely being out for game 4. Quentin Grimes sometimes rushes his shot from the baseline right here. But I wonder if he could just pump fake it and attack the hoop right here, because this will be the weak point of that zone defense right here in this baseline area. Because they'll have the slower guards in the back end of that 2-3 zone having to sort of kind of hang around right here and then recover. Normally guys kind of stand ahead of the 2 offensive players right here. They sort of line up right here and right here, and their job is just to basically recover. But Grimes, if he penetrates, this whole area is the weak point of the zone defense, of the 2-3 zone. So him penetrating is going to force someone else to step up and help out. And that way he can make a kick out if someone's trying to attack the paint, or someone's lining up themselves for an open 3-point shot. Things could happen here, but Grimes at time kind of rushes the shot. Like right here, he had a nice little pump fake. Kind of rushed that. What if he pump faked that? Now he's up in the air. He got rid of that defender. Now Isaiah Hartenstein could come in, or he'll have someone over here open for a wide open 3 in the middle of the court. Like something could happen right here. Or even he could have quickly open. Maybe Highsmith might try to double team. But who knows? But he didn't have to rush his shot though. And at times with Grimes, ever since I would say February, March, he's been kind of cold, you know? Great defense by Quentin Grimes right here. We're definitely going to need this, as Quickly is more than likely going to be out for the next game. He helps out on Bam, gets the strip. And Grimes, just the only thing about him, he just sometimes, if he falls in love with just camping out from 3 on the offensive end. But overall in this game, he's done a great job just one-on-one with Jimmy and just sticking with the mini guards of the Miami Heat. But just on the offensive side, hopefully he just doesn't rush a shot. We're definitely going to need a big-time performance from Quentin Grimes in Game 4. So after that well-deserved ass-kicking, hopefully this is a slap in the face the team needed to wake up and fully take control of this series. As the Miami Heat, they have not fared any better than us from three-point range. I mean, we're just shooting like pure shit. But they're not doing it as bad as we are. But they're also taking advantage of keeping us off the offensive glass. They're scoring more points in the paint. I mean, you could even look at this matchup. They shot way more free throws than we did. And they sort of neutralized the dribble penetration of Jalen Brunson. So Thibs definitely has to adjust. And with Thibs on his end, when it comes to the Knicks defense, they also have to take away the driving lanes of Jimmy Butler and stop respecting the Heat shooters so much. I mean, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Khalid, all these guys, they are not crazy shooters. Sometimes the Knicks kind of overplayed their three-point shooters, and they should begin to take away the driving lanes for guys like Bam and Jimmy Butler. And the Knicks' key leaders like RJ Barrett and Julius Randle have to stop going mano-a-mano all the time with the two best defenders on the other team. But we'll see how Thibs makes his adjustments, as the Knicks in this series have not yet fully established themselves and have taken full onus on controlling the glass, paying attention to small defensive rotations, and stop staying stagnant at the three-point line. And finally, stop allowing the Heat to convert off of our silly turnovers. So, we'll see. But you fellas stay confident. We deserve to be here. We're just as good as the Heat. We just got to buckle down, stay disciplined, and get to it. Until next time, you fellas stay safe. Peace.